Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing No Matter How I Look at It, It's You Guys' Fault, I'm Not Popular, Volume 5. So for those of you reading this series or following along with my reviews, we are up to Volume 5 and we are still following our main character, Tomoko, who is here on the cover, and I believe this is her brother next to her. Unfortunately, her brother's face has been cut off by this library barcode, so that's unfortunate, but we're up to Volume 5, so let's dive into my thoughts. Oh, and this series is by Nico Tanigawa, which I believe is actually a combination of two authors or an author-artist duo. So, for full disclosure, I have read this series up to Volume 16 about 2 years ago, but then I stopped because I moved library districts, and I am rereading it so I can read through the whole series again because I really did enjoy it. Volume 5, we're still following Tomoko, who is a shy, awkward, and lonely high school girl. Tomoko went to high school thinking she was going to be the star of the show and be popular, hence the name of the title. No matter how I look at it, it's you guys' fault I'm not popular, and she kind of fell on her face. Tomoko is awkward. She has all those teenage things going for her where she's not quite sure how to act, but she just doesn't pull it together. And I feel like it's compounded by the fact that whenever something comes up that could help Tomoko, she tends to push it away. She tends to condemn those things that she wants for herself. So she sees other people being nice and interacting with each other, and she condemns it as them being shallow or vain, or I'm not remembering the words right now, but every time she sees something that she wants, she just condemns it, which is putting her deeper into a hole. But this is starting to turn around. So if you've been reading volumes 1 through 4, it definitely starts out dark. I feel like it starts out at its darkest, or maybe volumes 2 through 3, it's kind of dark. Tomoko is alone. She just wants connection with other people, and she feels like she's kind of failing at life, and she's not happy about it. And as a reader, we see her constantly do things that sabotage her ability to have the very thing that she wants, which is hard to read. But I promise, as I've been saying, this series does get better, as in it gets more positive. You do climb out of the dark hole you are in, and I know this because I've read it before. In Volume 5, Tomoko is slowly coming out of her shell. Emphasis on slowly. So as I mentioned, the series starts out pretty dark and in a place where Tomoko is really not doing well, and it does get better. But this character growth that we see from Tomoko, learning to step out of her shell, learning to be the person she wants to be, is slow, but I actually like it because it's slow, because I feel like character growth sometimes in books happens very quickly, and that's not always reflective of how things happen in real life. Sometimes growth takes a very long time, and there are backslides. So I feel like this is a very good, realistic depiction of what it's like to start somewhere and then get somewhere else in terms of your personal growth as a person. So character growth is slow, but I feel like that slow pace is very realistic, and I like it. I also think that it is makes it more worthwhile. It's not like Tomoko has one volume, volume 1, where she's kind of in a bad place, but things immediately get better and it goes forward from there. Instead, she's kind of in a bad place for a while and she slowly comes out of it. And I think that makes it all the more worthwhile because we're able to see the little wins along the way, and it makes us connect with the character and sympathize with the character more. She's also, the main thing that we see from the character growth is she's also starting to realize now when people are nice to her. And that's something that people may have been nice to her before. In fact, we have seen instances where people are nice to Tomoko, but she's unable to see it beyond her haze of just self-loathing, self-pity, but also just inability to connect to other people. And now she is starting to be able to see and realize when people are nice to her a little bit, and that is growth for her. She's talking to people a little bit more. She's noticing when people are kind of nice to her a little bit more, and that's just that slow progression where she's starting to break out of this shell that she's developed for herself, the shell that is both keeping people out but also acting as protection against the outside world. We definitely see the glimmer of hope. We've started to see the glimmer of hope in the previous volumes. We know there's a light at the end of this tunnel, but it's still a long ways off. And I know it's going to be a slow burn, but I know it does get better, and that slow burn actually makes it, for me, more worthwhile, so I really, really enjoy it. I enjoyed Volume 5. I know where the series is going, so I can kind of say that. And I think that I feel like also my first read through, I was kind of like, I saw the glimmer of light, but I was like, this is going to be a long, slow haul to get there, and I don't know if it's going to be worth it. At least on my first read through, I definitely thought it was worth the wait, and I liked the slow burn aspect, and I am still liking it now. So I do recommend this volume. Just keep in mind that it is going to slowly climb its way out of this hole of misery, sadness, and loneliness, I promise. If you have any thoughts on the series or would like to share it with me, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.